The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Good morning. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we welcome you to Winning in Retirement. I'm a certified financial planner practitioner, and with me today is Alex Monk, also a certified planner practitioner. He's been in the industry and working with Akers Financial Group for 9 years now. He's a certified financial planner and knows what he's talking about. Today, what we're going to do is talk about many things, but this show is about winning in retirement. The actual topic is Winning in Retirement Playbook. This is what you need to know in retirement. If you're in retirement, thinking about retirement, near retirement, wanting to plan early in your life for retirement, this show is for you. We will have 4 quarters. We want to win all 4 quarters because we want you to win the game. We want you to win in retirement. Alex, when it comes to winning in retirement, I know you have a case study to share. So what do you think, Alex?
I do, Brian. And winning in retirement, it's not like you just show up first day and you're ready to win. It's just like anything else. You got to practice and you got to start somewhere. And everybody starts in a different place, and they show up at our door for different reasons. Whatever life throws at them. But the main thing is, and this is my favorite part, is finding all the pieces to your puzzle. Right? It's figuring out where all your money is, where your income sources down the road are coming from, what your insurance is like, everything that pertains to your life. And talking about this reminds me of a lady I had come see me after her husband had passed, and she shows up to the door and she is just terrified. And she's got this giant green bag. I mean, this bag has got to weigh almost 50 pounds, and it's full of paper. And she is just so overwhelmed. And by the end of that first meeting, I think we had maybe just started to open the bag at the end. But really, the first meeting was talking about, hey, what is in that bag? What are your worries? What are your concerns? Because winning in retirement, Brian, is different for everybody. Because everyone's got a different goal. And that's what we're here to find out, and to find out how all those pieces fit together so that we can win your game. Because everybody's game's different.
Absolutely. And so when we're talking today about Winning in Retirement Playbook, we're going to talk about how do we organize the playbook, how do we get started, what does the playbook comprise of? Now, we know all of you cannot take notes, and that's okay. You can always listen. The reason we know that is because of listeners like you who have been calling in and telling us, hey, we listened to you in the car on our way to the local lumber yard or to the local Home Depot. We had one this week call and say, I usually listen to you when you're riding the lawnmower. So if you're riding the lawnmower, if you're driving in your car, welcome to Winning in Retirement. Today's playbook, and what we're going to talk about is this: organize and customize here in the first quarter. Now, we call it the financial fingerprint. That is where you are in your life right now. No matter where you are in life right now, you need to look at your situation. I read this week that 50% of people believe that they cannot afford a financial advisor. And what happens is that it also said in the article that 95% once they have a financial advisor would never want to get rid of their financial advisor because they have helped and added so much value. Our advice to you is this: financial advice, financial planning is for everyone at all stages. When we're talking about winning in retirement, you have to win the day. You got to start with where you are now. Now, Monk, when you think about organizing and customizing for people, what other thoughts do you have?
It's all those things that you kind of forget about. I remember, maybe 3-4 years back, I had a guy and his wife show up, and he's a good, hard-working guy, Vietnam vet, fairly old, and he worked his whole life at a local business, one that might or may not make spices. So, a good old Baltimore company, saved well, and he comes in and he's like, I got no idea where all my money is. I don't know what to do with it, but I have to start drawing soon. So we get to talking and we find out, where his old 401k is, and then he mentions, hey, I got some stock certificates laying around my house somewhere. I said, oh, well, let's start looking for all those. And then I put it all together, and, maybe a month down the road, I have him back in, and I said, well, we found out where all your money is. And we look up at the screen, and it's a number that he couldn't even imagine. I mean, here's a guy that's living like your next door millionaire drives a 25-year-old pickup truck, and he realizes what his net worth is all of a sudden, and he's like, what? And that's just such a good feeling to show someone what they've worked so hard for, and then get to figure out how to put it together and make sure it's working for them. And that's really one of the best parts of the job, Brian.
It is very rewarding to take people when they walk in the door and they have questions, and usually they come in with something on their mind, and then little do they know that by doing financial planning, you pivot that one topic and then you expand it into making everything work together. That is what customizing does. So customizing a financial plan isn't saying we don't want to answer that one question. That one question, I was thinking this week, there's questions like Roth conversion. There's questions like, how much can I put into a solo 401k? Questions like, I owe money on my tax return. I don't want to owe this next year. What to do? Inheriting IRAs that the person that passed away had inherited. How do you calculate that? There's all kinds of questions that we start out with when we begin with talking with a client. Now, the organizing and knowing where everything is a key piece of where to start. This can go from things that you have at work, things that you have inherited, things that you have collected, information, paperwork, all kinds of things. We put that all together in our written discussion items. Those discussion items create an organized way of looking at where people are, and then begin to talk about what to do next. We love beginning with where the money is and what's your net worth.
Brian, when you were saying that, it sounded kind of scary, but you know what? We do the work, right? I mean, people just show up with the stuff and we'll go through it.
Oh, yeah, they can show up to the meeting. They could go to the personal website that we set up for the client and upload it for a secure way of doing it. There's encrypted email. There's the office drop by with the green bag like you were talking about earlier. I've had people with suitcases, bags, all kinds of things. We had one client, we were hired to go to their house, and they said, look in that room. It's in there. So college interns were able to work on that. So what's interesting is this. Don't be intimidated by the statements. Don't be scared by what you have or where you are. Know what you have so you can grab a hold of it, and then let's make the changes that you need to reach the goals that you want to have. What is stopping us from reaching our goals is typically ourself. We work hard. We work very hard, and you need to make sure that you're saving now, saving for that future that you need. You need to make sure that you are doing what you need in every category, because it all works together. Doesn't it, Alex?
I know a lot of people say to me, they're like, how do I get my money to work for me? And I'm like, okay, we can do that all day long. There's one thing I know how to do. It's make money. So where it is a big deal. People always come in, just like you said, Brian, with that one question. They want to know, should I convert to Roth, or is my 401k allocated correctly? And my answer is, allocated correctly for what? Like, how do I invest the money if I don't know what it's supposed to do? If you don't have those targets or that purpose for that money, how do you know if it's doing what it's supposed to? And that's my biggest, yep. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. When you talk about what is the goal, what do people want to try to achieve? Some people are not sure what they want to achieve. And so we got to sort of start them on a path. And what's interesting is when they start on that path of thinking about their future, all of a sudden they come into that second, third, fourth meeting and they're ready. Hey, I thought about it. I need to do this now. I need to do this next year. My daughter will go to college in the future. I do want to save some of that money. And they start getting excited. We start making things happen. Sometimes there's some work to be done. There's debt to be paid off. There's a budget to figure out. There's some tough decisions on housing. Should I buy a house this year? Should I wait because things might be too high? What should I refinance a mortgage? Which we've been trying to get people to think about that and make sure they plan out all the bills that they have and make sure they're paying the least they can so that we can save more. Somebody says, I want to retire early. We say, have you maximized your retirement plan now? Typically they say no. Then we say, you probably can't retire early. There's a balance here between saving, investing, growing, reaching all the goals. And sometimes you got to sacrifice to reach the goals that you have.
And that sacrifice, it may not be so fun in the beginning, but once you change your mindset and, you get pleasure from paying off debt and saving money and watching your investments grow versus spending or buying, then you're really in that mindset to start winning.
Absolutely. So this winning in retirement playbook, there's a little way to keep score. And that way to keep score is your net worth. What is your net worth? Is it positive? Is it negative? Is it at a number that you're not even sure of because you have not put it all together recently? These are all aspects of financial planning that you need to organize and customize where you are. So the playbook begins with, where are we now? We call it financial fingerprint. Hey, let's organize and customize because we want things to work out well for you. What we want is this. In retirement, we want your biggest worry of your day to be where you're going to drink your morning cup of coffee, where every day seems like a Saturday, free of stress. Your retirement income or investments are all taken care of by the team of advisors at Akers Financial Group. If this is the future you want, it's not too late. We want to provide you with a peaceful retirement. Begin by calling Akers Financial Group to schedule your free time. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a virtual Zoom meeting, a phone meeting, or an in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Give us a call at 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancialGroup.com. Is your financial life balanced between offense and defense? We'll talk about it when we come back.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to the second quarter of Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, president and founder of Akers Financial Group and host of Winning in Retirement. Today I have with me Alex Monk, certified financial planner practitioner and advisor at Akers Financial Group. Today's show is the Winning in Retirement Playbook. This is what you need to know about how to win in retirement. If you're in retirement, thinking about retirement, near retirement, wanting to plan for an early retirement, this show is for you. This second quarter is designed on this basic question. Let's start with this, Alex. It's this. Is your financial life balanced between offense and defense?
That's a funny one, because Brian, when people usually show up and they're either very, very safe on defense or they're very, very risky, and usually those risky people are the same ones that like to spend a lot of money.
Absolutely, because they're trying to make up for what they haven't saved in the past by taking extra risks to achieve it. And how does that work out normally?
Well, in my opinion, it would be the wrong answer. So it's never good.
All right, so this segment and part of our playbook is this. You got to have balance. I'm a basketball coach, and I enjoy basketball. But when you're shooting the basketball, you got to start out with a thing called beef. It's balance, eyes on the target, elbow in, follow through. But the word balance, if you have balance, that allows a great foundation for everything good to come out of it. You got to have balance.
All right, Brian, you couldn't have said it better. That balance is such an important thing. And for me, what I like to do is figure out, okay, where are we getting our money from, right? Where's our income? Where's our monthly check? That's where I want to find out. And then if that can be kind of like our foundation, our stability money, and we know that our basic needs are taken care of, plus inflation, and then we can start adding on more risk on top of that. But it really depends on the age and the mindset of the investor, because some people, you have to coach them into having risk, or you have to coach them into having safety. And that balance, either way of the spectrum, is really our goal in helping find the right answer.
All right, let's start with someone who is too conservative. They might have most of their money in the bank earning extremely low interest rates right now. So that person has certain risks to their future. What are those risks?
Well, their risks is their spending power. So if you've heard of anything called inflation, that's the cost of things increasing over time. So if you're in the bank, let's just say you have an incredible CD rate of 2%, and you have inflation at 3%. To me, that sounds like a losing proposition. So you're always going to have less purchasing power. Now, don't get me wrong, Brian. I think cash is an important part of every portfolio that needs to have its place, but it can't be for everything. So we have to have different buckets of money, or ladders, however you want to demonstrate it. But as we go out on the time scale, we either need to go out on the risk scale or on some other type of way of earning money, right? There's no free lunch. You can either take risk, you can give up time, you can give up a combination of the both, but there's no good way to earn money without having something that you're giving up.
Absolutely. So balance. We're talking about balance in your financial life. Offense versus defense. Offense is, in our mind, is when you are taking an aggressive approach. Now, an aggressive approach could be just, for some people, might just be owning any stocks at all. Now, we believe that there are different variants of stocks, of investments that have extra risk, extraordinary risk, even to a point of where people could lose most of their money. And those kind of investments are things that we have to watch out for clients who might get a little carried away when they have a big win in one category. Because what happens in investment most times is people, especially those that have started to do a lot of things on themselves, is they'll buy something that they buy something that they heard about, that they know about, and they start making some money on that, and then all that money goes in one place. That's not the balance we're talking about. We need to have our money not just in one place. We need it balanced. For those that have done well on, say, some stock or some investment that has doubled or tripled, you need to balance your life out. Use it to pay off debts. Use it to balance out the life to make you a strong foundation for your financial life.
You know, and I think it's one of the funniest things, like investing in the mindset of it, because when, like, we know for a fact that in the future, at some point, the market's going to go down. So there's some people that come in and I'm like, you have all your money in stocks and you are a smart person. You know for a fact the market's going to go down in the next 10 years, 20 years, at some point during your retired life. If you're all in, how do you become a buyer when things are low? It's impossible. Yeah. And that's where balance comes in.
Yeah, there's no dry powder. There's no allocation to be able to buy low. Diversification is part of balance. Diversification is where, through diversification, you can actually have growth and value type investing. You can actually have protected and higher risk. You need to have things such as a balance in your portfolio through diversification.
Yep, and if you're sitting there looking at your 401k statement and thinking, do I have balance inside of my target date fund? Because my statement only shows one mutual fund. Well, you might. I don't know which one you own. I can tell you it's probably not right for you, but...
Yeah, a target date fund, what's funny is when someone in their later 50s picks a 2065 plan because they want to be more aggressive, and the only way they know to be more aggressive is to pick a higher level target date plan, which then diversifies it across every fund that company owns. When in reality, if they want to be more aggressive, they identify some of those funds, build a model that fits them exactly the way that they want to invest it.
And you don't know what those guys are doing inside those target date funds because they have some flexibility. So sometimes, I know sometimes they'll have overweight to international or something like that, and you may not even know it.
Yeah, well, that happens a lot with people that let's say they want to retire in 2022 and they have like a 2020 plan and they think it's a lower risk or low risk. In reality, it's not. It's not low risk. Usually in a 401k plan, there's only one fund that's going to give you zero risk, and that's usually their money market, which gives you zero return but zero risk. What this is something to think about when you have balance, and that is your low risk and high risk. As we get closer to retirement, our playbook, we pull out the play, and that play would be you need to lower your risk entering retirement. You need to have money that you can count on for a lifetime. You need money also on the opposite side that's going to grow and beat inflation, not lose to inflation, but beat inflation over time. This balance that we're talking about here is offensively and defensively in your investing. It also ties into how you spend money and save money.
And that balance, like, you got to live your life now. Because I know you've seen it, Brian. I've seen it where someone will retire or work for 40 years and then they get sick and they pass away. And I hate seeing that because the money at that point means nothing. So you got to find that balance of how do I save for my future, but also enjoy today. And that's a big one.
I think that's almost like a calculation. And that calculation is, what do you need now? What do you need in the future? And one of the things that we've found is that if you have no debt at retirement, you have so much flexibility. If you have no debt now in your life, you have so much flexibility of retiring early. So many people think 62 is the retirement age for everyone. The problem is it's not. If someone has controlled and saved their money and stayed out of debt, they could retire early. Early, in my opinion, 62. Under the Social Security rules with full retirement, they're using 67 as the full retirement age for the basic, the base Social Security payout that they offer. So when you're thinking about retiring early, and we're talking from 67 to 65, you need to have your finances in great shape. Great shape to us is someone walks in the door, no debt, no mortgage, and they're ready to talk about what to do next to make this thing work.
Yeah, and when there's someone sitting in the lobby and they got that binder that's already got the tabs based on sections and all that, I'm always like, whoa, what do you have going on here? What am I walking into?
You're intimidated by an organized person when they walk in? I think it's awesome.
Well, yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's great, but I'm just like, okay, you're ready. Let's do it.
Well, what's interesting, for someone who's always organized, and you're thinking, well, and I have balance, what good does a financial advisor do? Well, imagine that if our playbook says organized, customized, balance, and then we get started. If you come in organized, guess what? We get started. And that's an exciting thing to see when we have people who do organize their finances. It doesn't require you have it in a binder. It doesn't require that you have a web page and download it and have everything saved. But that's something that we want to help you with. We do this for our clients. We organize them. At Akers Financial Group, we have financial advisors, we have paraplanners, operations department, we have people in administration staff to help us scan and organize. This is why we're able to deliver on what we're talking about.
Absolutely. And you know what? I absolutely love it. It's like a puzzle to me, Brian. And I enjoy finding all the pieces. And then instead of looking at the box and putting together the puzzle, we decide what we want the puzzle to look like. And then we put it together.
And I found that the puzzle changes into retirement and throughout retirement as life changes. And that's what financial planning must be able to pivot and move throughout this time. Now, at Akers Financial Group, we're local. We're independent. We don't report to a big company on Wall Street. We report to you. We have offices in Farmville and Lutherville, and we meet clients throughout the state of Maryland and throughout the country nowadays. This is all about you and not about us. It's about you winning in retirement. Give us a call at Akers Financial Group to schedule your free meeting. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a phone meeting, virtual Zoom meeting, or an in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancialGroup.com. You work hard for your money. Protect it and make sure it works hard for you in retirement. We will explain after this.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to the second half of Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, Certified Financial Planner Practitioner, and here with me today is Alex Monk. We are talking about Winning in Retirement Playbook. That's our talk. This show is about that, and you need to listen to what is going on when we talk about the playbook of winning in retirement to make sure you're able to win in your own retirement years. Hey, Alex Monk, are you able and willing to give us your all here in the second half? Are you excited?
I only have one speed, Brian, and that's all in. So let's do it.
The one speed thing had me, but the all in I totally agree with. All right, so we have a website, AkersFinancialGroup.com. That's AKERS Financial, FINANCIAL Group.com. You go to that website, AkersFinancialGroup.com. On that website, see a bunch of tabs up top. One over to the right is called Radio tab. That Radio tab, you can listen to this show and all of our past shows by going on there. That could be a podcast, something that you listen to while you're driving, while you riding the lawnmower, wherever you're at. You can listen to even the past shows, even when we're not live. That's a great place to go at AkersFinancialGroup.com. We've also added a tab called Webinar. And we have our library of financial talks that we have, of course, self-produced. So we're not the best video producers, but we have great content. That would be the best way to put it. All right, Alex Monk, we're here in the second half. This is my question to start. You've worked hard for your money. Protect it and make sure it works hard for you in retirement. What does that all mean, Alex?
Oh, Brian, that means you got to know where your money is first, which we talked about earlier. And once we figure that out, we need to figure out your balance. And then once we figure out where that target for your balance is, we need to go ahead and make your safe money safe. There's a lot of people out there, they think, oh, well, look, I'm 50 stocks, 50 bonds, so half my money's safe. I'm not sure if you've watched bonds trade when interest rates go up, but that's not what I would call safe. And I think it's a losing proposition. So you've got to look for different ways to protect your money and still have it earned, because the banks are not going to pay you enough interest to keep up with inflation. It's just a fact. There's no other way around it.
Right. So what you're saying there is if someone has a bond fund, a bond mutual fund, a bond ETF, that's a combination of bonds all in one portfolio. Depending on that bond setup, what you're finding now is that it's lost money recently. And the reason it lost money is because bond values go down when interest rates go up. We've seen interest rates go up in this year, and when interest rates rise, your bond values go down. So what was perceived as being low risk or no risk is actually not. One example was back in 2020 when interest rates started to move up. The long-term bond actually lost a 10 to 12% off the investment, off the principal because of interest rate change. And that was just with a small change. If we do see higher interest rates in the future that jump quickly over the next 3 to 5 years, what you'll see is your bonds, which you thought were the safe side, or the piece that you wouldn't lose because of the being a government, even a government bond. Government bonds can lose if you buy and sell, or if you own a mutual fund, a collection of them, because that principal, the NAV, the price of that fund, will fluctuate day to day with interest rates. Make sure you know the risk that you are taking.
Right, and with an individual bond, at the end of it, you get your money back, or the company or the state defaults, right? Those are really your options. You either get your principal back or you don't get anything. In a bond fund, you never have that end, so it's always constantly rolling because you have diversification. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. Bonds are tough if you don't know how they work.
So the counter to that has been where we use for protecting clients' assets, guaranteed fixed annuities, fixed index annuities, where the principal is guaranteed by the insurance company. It's not backed by any type of government agency. It's only backed by the assets of the insurance company. This kind of protection has been something that we've used and has worked very well throughout the volatility over the last 20-some years.
And that's really us sitting down saying, okay, if we are saying bonds are our safe money for clients and they're earning 3% and we charge a fee, so then the client is still not earning enough to keep up with inflation and they're taking risk. That does not sound like a good scenario for me. So by using alternative things like fixed or fixed index annuities, where there's no fee on it, we are able to achieve that 3 to 4 number and have our safe money keep up with inflation, at least.
Right, and so the idea is that let's say someone's getting ready to retire next year, and as you're getting ready to retire, you look at your portfolio and you say, well, I do need to take some money off the table, money that I cannot afford to lose, money that I want not to lose. Now, to do that, there's different types of investments out there. You have your banking investments like CDs and money markets, savings account. They're earning extremely low interest. That extremely low interest will guarantee that you can't keep up with inflation over time. And so what we recommend is a form of laddering. That laddering is having cash, having short-term money set aside that you can reach your goals, have the ability for the full year's income to be sitting there available to you so that your income is not susceptible to market volatility. Then you work on setting up laddering, even of fixed annuities where you can ladder out over time. And if you tie the interest to an index, they call that a fixed index annuity. How would you try to explain a fixed index annuity, Alex?
So a fixed index annuity is kind of like let's just say it's a CD, a 1-year CD that is linked to an index, an underlying index. So however the calculation is, there's multiples of them. It takes the beginning value of that index and then that end value based on the time, and whatever that index does relates to the performance and the interest rate on that fixed index annuity for that year. And it looks and says, okay, we either did 0 or we did 5 or we did whatever the number is, and then that's our new low as you go. And we start again. So it's pretty boring, and that's what we're looking for.
Yeah, boring is exactly what we want when we are sitting in retirement, enjoying our cup of coffee, where every day is a Saturday, and where you say, well, you know what? I know where my money's coming from for the next few years. I know where that income is coming from for the rest of my life with the protections that are provided. A fixed index annuity is something where you need to understand the investment. There are so many choices out there. You need to know the duration, like how long are you locked into a policy like this? It could be something like 5 years, 7, 10, 12, 16, 20. There's all kinds of them out there. You need to ask important questions about the insurance company itself. What are their abilities to maintain interest rates? What's their abilities with their insurance ratings? Are they able to make payments on the guarantees that they provide? Then you need to understand what's the potential and possibility of the interest you could earn. In a fixed index annuity, your money's not in the stock market. The insurance company holds your money. The insurance company is taking the risk by owning into the stock market through different types of options and other types of investments that allows them to earn enough interest to then pay you an interest that is tied to an index. That interest is the only piece that's truly at risk, in that you can make zero or you can make, depending on how the market's doing. The simplest example is using an index like S&P 500. The S&P 500 means that your money's not in the S&P 500, but the insurance company uses the S&P 500 as a way to guide what they would end up paying you at the end of that 1 year. They do come in different variances where they can have that index be looked at over 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, things like that. Understanding how to use these is an extremely important thing, and something that you should never buy quickly. Is something that the advisor needs to be able to walk through and talk to you on how you're going to do this.
Yeah, and there's so many different ways to use them. We just talked about, kind of the basics on how they earn money, but they can have all types of different riders. It could be a death benefit rider, an income rider, a combination of the both, a long-term care rider. So, there's a ton of different options out there. And they're just tools, right? It's like going to Home Depot. You can get at DeWalt anything you want. But if it's not right for the job you're doing, you just wasted money. But it's always good to have. But that's just tools, not annuities.
Full disclosure is Alex Monk loves to collect tools for every project he has and may have. That would be just one step below his golf game. I'm sorry. Back to our third quarter talk. It's about protecting. So part of this Winning in Retirement playbook is this. We organize and customize where you are. We build a balance. And then you got to understand, well, if we are going to have some money that's protected, what are we going to do with it? So understanding that part of the playbook, what comes out is understanding how to make it protected. Now, we think about protection in two versions: protection of income, protection of growth. And we want a little bit of both. Protection of income is designing based on what you need your income to be. The more income you need out of your money, the more conservative you need to be. What do you think of that one, Alex?
That's a tough one I always deal with, but, you can't afford to lose when you only have just enough.
Absolutely. Now, one of the things that we want you to know is this, is that the best part of retirement is getting your time back, where you decide how to use it. Before retirement, your time is tied up with other commitments, mainly your job. A lot of that goes away at retirement. Your time is now consumed by things you want to do. This is an unusual thought. You actually have to think about what you want to do and then go do it. We call that winning in retirement. So go ahead and give us a call, and that call will help you have a free meeting to talk about how you can win in retirement. So give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a virtual appointment, which could be phone or a Zoom meeting, or in person in our offices in Lutherville or Forest Hill with one of our team of advisors. Start planning now for your retirement. Call us at 833-946-7384 or visit us at AkersFinancialGroup.com. Don't you want to thrive in retirement? I want you to. We'll talk about it in the fourth quarter.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Today with me is Alex Monk. We are both certified financial planner practitioners and host of the Winning in Retirement radio show. This is our fourth quarter. Hopefully you've been with us today because today's been a good day talking about our topic. Our topic is Winning in Retirement Playbook. This is what you need to know to win in retirement. If you're in retirement, thinking about retirement, near retirement, or wanting to plan early in your life for your retirement years, this show has been for you. We will have 4 quarters. This is our fourth quarter. We want you to win the game. And in the fourth quarter, you all know that's when we win the game. Alex, are you ready to win the game? Ready to finish strong?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, the fourth quarter is a great time in any game to watch. Sometimes in some sports, it's the only quarter to watch. So if this is the only quarter you watched or listening to with Winning in Retirement radio show, you can actually go to our website at akersfinancialgroup.com. And on that website, you can actually hear the rest of that show. We'll have that on later this coming week. Also, we have our webinars and our webinar schedule. And of course, when you contact Akers Financial Group, we can also get you into our weekly notifications about all that's going on at Akers Financial Group. All right, Alex, this question that I got coming to you is this. Let me make sure I got it right. Don't you want to thrive in retirement? I want you to. What do you think about that? Have you ever said that to any clients?
Well, a lot of times I tell clients after, I'm thinking about this one case. Well, the husband's he's a big worrier, and the wife, she's retired now. And finally, about, 6 months, a year ago, I looked at him during a meeting, and I said, are you going to retire or not? You need to do it now, because you don't know what tomorrow brings. And leading up to this, we had already built the house where they want to retire. We have enough cash. We've done all these things that we've talked about. We have good asset allocation. Because when I first met him, they were all risk. And when the market had a real bad drop a couple of years back, I thought the husband was going to have a heart attack. And I'm like, are you ready to listen to me? Are you ready to find some balance? And he said, yeah. So we've been able to earn money without taking risk, and he understands that now. And I think he's finally comfortable enough to say, I'm done with work. Now, the problem with work is a lot of people after 30 years, it's hard to leave. Like, you worry. And that's the issue we're having now. It's not the money. Mm-hmm. It's how do we deal with, leaving that job correctly, and planning ahead. It allows you to worry about that, because that's the important stuff. If you spend 40 years working somewhere or with people, that's a long time.
Yeah, I find myself thinking about that aspect of retirement planning a lot more nowadays. For those who don't know, I'm in my 50s. Yep, I'm in my 50s. And so when I'm dealing with retirement planning, and I'm helping people my own age now, and what's interesting is they have it all worked out, all planned out. And I'm thinking, I love my job. I love working with my clients. Do I want to give that up to go away and retire? Or do I want to have some type of hybrid? We get to choose. When you're financially independent and have built your winning in the retirement playbook and got yourself ready, you're ready to thrive. Thrive, to me, is your definition of thriving. That means if you want to serve your church, serve your school, serve your family, whatever you want to do, that's thriving. Let's not retire to nothing. Let's retire to something. So how to thrive? The key there, what Alex Monk just described in his case study there, is not having a financial worry because you didn't handle something. Thorough financial planning will cover the organization and customizing, the balancing, protecting what we need protecting, the diversification of the volatility side of the market, making sure that you're taking the least amount of risk heading into your retirement years, not the most. And that allows you to thrive. Thriving, I believe, takes a couple years in retirement to really get the groove. Then people come in after a couple years in retirement and they say to us, what, Alex, do they say when they come in?
My husband needs a job.
My husband needs a job. They also say comments like, I should have done this years ago. And we're like, yes, we told you you could. Now, thriving in retirement takes a lot of work. Sometimes people are so excited about retirement, they want to retire so early, they're not ready. I did have one of those this week, and where I told them, I want you to retire and stay retired. I want you to be able to retire and not work. If you keep the job you have now, because it pays the most, keep it just a little longer. Before you know it, you can fully retire and be okay for the rest of your life. And those are tough decisions that an advisor can tell you once they know about you and your situation.
You know, it's funny because I've seen people go back and get that second part-time job, and when they come in and they talk about it, it's not work. It's like, oh yeah, I get there a little early, I bring coffee, you know, me and the guys, we, you know, every Tuesday morning, you know, it's fun. It's like, you know, it's not work. There's no stress, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, I found what's interesting is a lot of the guys want to be the golf course starter. That's like what they want to do. Now, years ago, it used to be the Walmart greeter. That job's sort of gone away. But they talk about being the golf course starter. They say, well, I wake up early anyway. Might as well get out there.
So I had, it's funny, client's parents, they moved to Delaware, and the husband was a starter last year at a golf course. And this year, the wife won't let him take the job again because he would get up so early, and by the time he got home, he either played golf after work, but either way, he was taking a nap right during the prime time of the day. And she's like, not having that anymore. So that got shut down.
I'm sorry. What's interesting is that there's a lot of things about retirement, and some of it's financial. The financial planning is what we want to try to take care of. All right, so the Winning in Retirement Playbook, what happens is that the playbook has your name on it, and we want you to win in retirement. Winning in retirement takes work, and it needs to start on the first day of your work. You need to save money because you can always spend the rest. How do you act on a playbook? How do you act on this? We recommend that you have a financial advisor to guide you in and through all these years, all these decisions, so you're making wise decisions so you don't waste the money that you've worked so hard for. You need to be disciplined. You need to know your timing. You need to decide what winning in retirement looks like, and then what we need to do is go to work for you.
Yep. You know, Brian, I love it when they walk in and they say, Alex, this is what I want to do. I want to work for X number more years, and then I want to do this, this, and this. And the husband and wife, or, you know, whatever the scenario is, they're on the same page, and they just push over this big stack of stuff, and they say, how do I do that? That's my favorite, because I can show you how to do that. But the hardest part is figuring out what your game is. So you got to figure out how to spend your money. We cannot tell you how to spend it. If I did, you'd have a basement full of tools, and that'd be about it.
I don't know. I was thinking about when you said help a client spend it. I did have a client buy their dream RV recently. And so this is something that has honestly been 10 years in the planning of building cash, investing, and growing money, so that when he was able to retire, which is this year, he was able to purchase the Dream RV. The Dream RV is not an easy thing to do, to buy. You have to have the money saved, and then you got to know what you like. And so that was a process of the planning, and then organizing the money and the finances to do it. It's pretty neat to help people reach their goals. Thriving in retirement can be so much to so many different people. It could mean a second home. It could mean the ability to travel. It could be just as simple as having enough income every month to be able to spoil grandkids and do things. There is a lot going on when it comes to people's lives, and financial planning is what guides you into all of this.
Yeah, and you know, the balance that we talked about earlier is the biggest thing, Brian. You got to balance enjoying life now and saving. You got to balance risk and safety, just like everything else. But it all needs to work together. I mean, imagine if you have like 6 great baseball players, but your outfield's terrible. You're going to lose every game. It doesn't matter. Who you got on the infield, doesn't matter. You're going to lose. So you got to make sure you got strong pieces everywhere.
Exactly right. And you need some advice from people who do it all the time. So at Akers Financial Group, we have advisors that have helped people retire many, many times. And we've had many people retire this year. And what we do is we guide them as they get ready. That retirement year does require a lot of meetings to make sure everything works together. All right, Alex, as we close out the show today, the Winning in Retirement Playbook, what's your final advice?
Swing for the fences, baby. Oh, no. Nope. Defense wins championships. Nope. It's all about balance.
All right. So I did give Alex Monk the microphone there to finish up for a second. But the idea is this. The playbook starts with some basic things, such as organize and customize your financial plan. Balance your life in spending and savings and investing and portfolio and volatility. Make sure you're doing what you need to do to make it work. What you also need to do is make sure you protect a portion of your assets and protect your income to last a lifetime. All of this comes together through planning to help you thrive. So today's basics were this. We want you to win in retirement. Let's start with this Winning in Retirement Playbook. Let's go to work. We look forward to creating this for you. We all need to be in a creating mode, to take advantage of opportunities set in front of us. We want you to win in retirement. So go ahead and take advantage of this opportunity by beginning to plan with us at Akers Financial Group. To schedule a free meeting, give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule a virtual Zoom meeting, a phone meeting, or an in-person meeting with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for your retirement now. That's 833-946-7384 or visit AkersFinancialGroup.com. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
You've been listening to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated and investment advisory services through Kalos Management Incorporated. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment.